Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
Let's talk Devils and Islanders, let's talk Penguins and Rangers, but let's not talk about Flyers, cause they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
So we have a new listener to the Friends and Rivals podcast, and that's the Pat McAfee show. Who else in the right mind was talking about the name for the whatever the Utah or Salt Lake City team is going to be? Who in the right mind was talking about them being called the Soakers?
I really want to know when the first mention of the Soakers showed up on the Pat. Was it today? Hey, I had to
It was today. It was
He
today.
didn't mention it at all before today.
They were talking with Ryan. They interviewed Ryan Smith today on the show, and he started talking about the Soakers on the show today. We got him by a week. We got him by a full week.
He might as well have called them the fucking Salt Lake City homeless people. And that would have really proved that he's fucking stealing from us.
But this is like the third or fourth time in a very short span that I don't know. For anybody, listen, I love that people want to take our content. That's great, and you can use it for shows that actually have an audience. But when you do, just say Rivals after whatever it is that you're stealing. Just say Rivals and just give us the proper credit for it.
Just so we know. Just so the four of us kind of
give us the proper credit. That's all we're looking for. You know, when you go and you break a trade or you break an injury or something like that, you always give credit to whoever the person was. That should be the same thing here. There's really no difference than breaking, a news story than just stealing our shit. Just give us fucking proper credit.
So in all creativity, there's parallel thinking, right? And at least in this essence, like it means we're kind of entertaining. We're as entertaining as the Pat McAfee show.
We're kind of we're just as smart as Frank Saravelli. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I was gonna say more of like we're on the same level, like wavelength. I don't know about entertaining, but we're definitely on the same wavelength. Now, in fairness, I did call them the Super Soakers, which I felt was a little more, a
little
nice
more
homage.
hinted, a little more, yeah.
Now, I did have to. Now, there was one other thing that happened today. At least I think it was today. That there was another addition to the 7 or 8 names or whatever it was that the Utah team is trademarked. The Utah Yetis was another one. Now, I have in my notes from last week, I have 5 teams and I have an extra. I said Super Soakers. I said the Whiteys, which I don't think I told you that one.
What? How did you not bring that one up? Are you kidding?
It was pretty bad.
That's definitely Super Soakers, Whiteys 1-1A. I got to tell you.
Just because we're in Utah, whatever. Anyway, the Snow Buddies, the Uncle Ricos, the SLC Punks, and I said something likely dumb like the Yetis. That's exactly what I wrote. Exactly what I wrote in my notes. I don't remember if I said it exactly that way, but I was
you
laughing.
said it because I remember something to that effect. Like, well, that actually could be it.
Yeah.
But
it's like, no, but realistically, it's probably like the Yetis or something. And
so this is how it came up in the context in the Pat McAfee show today, because I had to go back and listen to see what the hell context. So he had the owner on. They were going through, and he was talking about naming the Utah team, and it turns out that they're going to hold an 8-team name tournament and just let the fans or the people of Salt Lake City decide on what the name's going to be. And I think Yeti right now is one of them, or it might even be like number 1 right now. Yes,
I don't know.
No, Billy, that's a Yeti mug. I think the Yeti that they're talking about is a fictional beastly figure.
A thermos.
Thermos is actually one of the other possible names.
Yeah. It makes more sense,
How about the Utah Coleman Coolers? Can they do that? No?
How about the Utah Cultists?
What?
How about the Salt Lake City Igloos?
That could work. That could work. But
or how about this for a little alliteration? The Salt Lake City Sippy Cups.
Okay.
No?
I still like Soakers better.
Okay. Well, I'm with you.
100%. And we're a week up on the Pat McAfee show, so if they got to do a little bit of homework, well, they obviously did a little bit of homework, but let's see if we can give them something else to talk about this week.
Listen up, Pat's people, because there's going to be content for you to steal coming up.
And I want to make this clear: we are not accusing Pat McAfee of stealing our content. We are accusing people who work for him that are stealing our content.
But we should steal something of theirs.
I think,
Can
let's
we have
be
Aaron
fair.
Rodgers on to say something fucking retarded?
Wait, let me sit. I want to sit on my desk and with shorts on, Indian. I can't say Indian style. I have to say crisscross applesauce. Is that what I have to say?
I don't know.
Because I think that's ultimately what he does.
All right.
Much like Lord of the Rings and any of the Harry Potters, I can proudly say I've never consumed 1 minute of the Pat McAfee show.
Wait, I'm sorry. You say Lord of the Rings, and what was the one?
Harry Potter?
All right, whatever. But Lord of the Rings, really? No? Okay. Yeah.
No, never consumed 1 minute.
Steve.
Very fucking lame.
Steve, how about Marvel? Steve, you like Marvel? Do you? Not even that. Nope. We are lucky and blessed that he watched Star Wars.
Jesus Christ.
That shit could
He
happen.
was a child.
What? Wait. Star Wars did happen?
That shit in a galaxy far, far away. That shit happened.
Oh, I believe it. I do. I'm right with you. And Star Trek, no.
No.
We're going off on a tangent here. I don't think we should go down this road.
We don't do that.
But
No.
we are. But sadly, we say goodbye to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Billy, turns out you were right all along.
Oh
And
yeah,
we
I
are
wasn't
here
so
now.
thick-headed, was I?
No, you're still thick-headed. Don't you worry. Don't sell yourself short. You're a tremendous slouch. We are here now to. I was going to say euthanize. Maybe we should just.
Yeah, you could do that too. Might as well. I got an order in my head of which ones I would euthanize first.
Maybe we just eulogize them. So the floor is yours, my friend.
The eulogy of the Pittsburgh Penguins. I can't. I'm not as good of an actor as Steve. I can't really deliver it like a real eulogy. But let's say I heard it said sort of too bad the Penguins they were on a good run. It's too bad they fell short. And it kind of made it feel like a sudden death of their season when John Tortorella pulls the goalie and lets the Capitals just walk into the playoffs that way. Because if that game had gone differently, they could have had a chance going into the last game. So in that way, it felt like a sudden death. But this was not a sudden death. This was a long death this season, and I go back to opening night against the Chicago Blackhawks when they took a lead into the third period and lost the game in regulation against the shitty Blackhawks. Then the end of that month on October 30th, lead in the third period against the shitty Ducks. And they lost that game in regulation. And then November 24th against the shitty Sabres. They had a 2-0 lead in the third period and regulation loss. No points. December 2nd against the shitty Flyers.
Do all of them?
Third period lead. Ended up losing in a shootout.
Maybe I should have included all the times the Devils gave up the first goal when I did my eulogy.
I think so. That would have been
we would have still been recording.
January 20th, Golden Knights 2-goal lead in the third period. No points. January 22nd, Arizona. That wasn't a lead that they blew, but they were down 3-2 with a delayed penalty, and they put a goal in their own net to fuck it up. No points there. Then they had a lead against the Kings in February, and in the third period, lost in regulation. Lead in the third period, 2-goal lead against the Flames, lost in regulation in March. And then they went on a streak where they were outscored 24-7 in the next 5 games after that. And then March 30th against the Blue Jackets, 2-goal lead in the third period, lose in overtime. So all total, 8 games where they had a lead in the third period, 16 points that they could have had. They came away with 2. So when you talk about the Penguins' death this season, it was a slow one. It was a slow one. They came away with anywhere near like half of those points. They'd be getting their ass handed to them by the Rangers this week. So rest in peace. Penguins was not a sudden death. They did not deserve to be there. Goodbye. It's about all. It's about all I can.
Are we supposed to be singing "Oh Danny Boy"? Is that what we're supposed to sing now? Or there you go.
That is good too.
We'll have some taps. That's right. But they beat the Sharks like. Didn't they beat them like 12-2 or 10-0?
They did. That was fun. That was a fun day.
I look back at that, and every time I looked at the goal differential, I thought of that game and said, "Oh, they're +2 in the goal differential standings." I said, "Oh, but if they didn't play the Sharks that game, it would have been a minus." And basically all season, and you said it, I think that week. One of the things you said was, "Oh, they're only a plus differential because they played the Sharks," or it was a couple weeks after that. But I always remembered that, and they were always a plus goal differential this year because of that Sharks game. Unlike the Caps. Ooh. Go ahead.
I mean, they were a good team in a lot of ways. It was holding a lead and special teams that undid them. Everything else they did pretty good. A lot of guys had good years.
You wasted probably top 3 seasons from Sid? Or would you
in that realm with all that he did? Yeah. He did quite a bit this year, but
it's
not going to get better from here.
No, they want to go in a different direction next year with a lot of youth and all that stuff, and who knows what the roster is going to look like next year. But if Sid has half of the season that he had last year, I think right off the bat they're already in pretty decent shape. But that will come, and we will see what happens in the offseason with the Pittsburgh Penguins. But 50% of our teams are now done for the season. One of the teams who is not done is going into intermission in Game 2, and that's the Islanders, up 3-1 on the Carolina Hurricanes. Nick, we're gonna start with you because the Islanders are in intermission, and you're distracted enough. You're distracted enough. So why don't you take us through the start of the playoffs for the Icelanders?
All right. Well, yeah. Sorry, that was a hell of a end of the period there, but anyway, we'll get to that later. Isles down 1-0 in the series. First game in Carolina on my kid's birthday, so could not attend that. But and obviously tonight is podcast night, which is way more important than being in person to a very expensive ticket. So
we really would have let you. We would have let you go today.
You should have let us know.
Made other arrangements.
I'm sure our sponsors would have chipped in.
I'm sure. Well, anyway, we'll see how Game 5. We'll see how Game 5 goes. Maybe that'll be a game to go to. But anyway, Isles played really well in the game. For all things considered, but just could not get the puck in the net enough. It was a 2-1 game most of the game. Canadians. The Canes ended up scoring an extra empty netter at the end of the game to kind of make it a 3-1 game. But same time, it was I also had a lot of opportunities to tie it. A couple of really, really big ones. Dobson had a nice shot and then follow up, almost just robbed by Freddie Anderson. Absolutely robbed in the third period. But one of those games where you come out playing real, just kind of even game, 1-1 the first period, outshot the 2-1 the Canes at home in the second period, and then it was much more even in the third. But 2 goals by the Canes, one on a very nice screenplay. Ball didn't see the puck at all, and then there was a deflection, kind of like knock around and just knocked in when on a just dirty play. And those are the kind of goals you got to score in playoffs. Yeah, it's every single playoff game. It comes down to those dirty goals. Canes were able to score 2 of those, and Isles just couldn't make it happen. So it's game one, and to be honest, it's not the end of the world. You lose game one, you got to win 1 out of 2 on the road if you're the road team. Isles right now are in the driver's seat in game two. Been a very much Carolina just been dominating the play in this game. Been very much a different story of this game. But hey, man, sometimes it doesn't matter. Like just like the other game where the Isles, I felt outplayed the Carolina Hurricanes. It's the opposite. Hurricanes have been very, very good this game. Isles didn't have a shot on net for the first 12 minutes, 13 minutes, I think, of the game. I think so. Could have been even longer. Might have been 14 minutes.
It was 13 minutes. Yep.
It was, and it's not that the Isles didn't have chances, but just nothing got on net, and that makes a big difference. Early fight by halfway through the period by Kyle McLean and I think it was Nosen.
Nosen, yeah.
From Carolina, and that was a interesting. Were you gonna say something, Tom?
Nope, not yet.
Yeah, we were. It was a very key kind of moment in the game. I felt because the crowd was kind of like dead, and it wasn't like Nosen was looking for the fight. Actually, it looked like they just had a couple moments where they just kind of hit each other, and then mutual drop the gloves.
Nosen elbowed them in the head, and
yeah,
McLean got a little pissed at that.
I mean, look, like I said, it was. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as just like they're just playing, and he might have hit him in the head, but listen, McLean's a rookie. He's been playing excellent in this last few weeks, and definitely in the series so far. And you know what? Listen, he dropped the gloves of the vet, and he did okay. He didn't do bad, and it was a good scrap. Obviously, the crowd went fucking bananas, and just Carolina's home crowd. Nosen ended up on top, and ended up being though that Isles ended up getting a couple goals in the first period somehow. Just some very opportunistic plays, and then Andrews Lee scoring a power play goal on just the worst entry. Just honestly, like losing the puck while you're coming in the entry, and it just goes in a spot where nobody can reach it. It just slowly fluttered into the corner, and somehow in the ensuing grabbing of the puck, it just bounced out to Lee in the front, who made a great play, a quick fake, and put it around Freddie Anderson. But my God, that was a great bounce for the Isles. I mean, that was just hilarious. But Horvat had a great second goal, absolute goal scorer. Awesome to see him do that. Palmieri the same. So the guys that we need to score goals have been. Brock Nelson's had some good shots. Early had one of the early shots on net. He had a real great wrist shot that was gloved by Anderson. I think it was the first shot on net, actually, if I remember correctly. But either way, so far Isles are up 3-1 after a power play goal by Carolina late in this, or mid-second, I should say. And but the Hurricanes came on very strong in the second period. So Isles really need to hold on in this game, bring it back to Long Island with tie it up the series. But it's a long game. There's another 20 minutes to go, and they're in hostile territory. Carolina has been outskating them very, very much. So I should say they are definitely a very fast team tonight. And normally they are outskating the Isles, but tonight they are fired up for sure, and I think there's a lot of extra pressure on Carolina with Brendan Moore not having a contract next year. He's still unsigned, so yeah, they're probably waiting to see how they do in this series and this playoffs, because as much as of success he's brought that team, they haven't translated into the playoffs, especially since they've been either 1, 2, 3 positions the last few years in the playoffs. I mean, it's a lot riding on this playoff series for that team. So it's very, very much a tough series for the Isles, and they got to stay out of the box. Barzie's had 3 penalties and not even 2 games yet. I mean, the first 2 penalties seem to be pretty much just crap calls. In fact, one of the first call he got tonight was it was such a bad call. It felt like the ref called the opposite call to just immediately cancel him out. They did barely even show the replay, but it was like a hook in a hole that neither guy even showed, looked to me. And then had another penalty later in the second. It led to the goal where Barzy just was standing there, and a guy literally just turned and fell over him. I'm not sure what if he did some ding and dash on these referees or something, but man, they got his number last couple of games, and most importantly of all that is that the Isles need to stay out of the box. They're not a good PK team. They're the worst in the league in PK, and they're still in the playoffs incredibly. But the Hurricanes have a very strong, very good power play, and it's the whole series. If they can stay out of the box and keep the penalties to a minimum, keep the Carolina Hurricanes from scoring on power play, they got a real chance at this series. But that's going to be a big part of it. So
I thought the Canes came out, and I think they looked a little flat to start the game.
Initially?
And I think that fight got a lot of people going kind of on both sides. And Carolina got a power play, and then the Islanders killed it off, and then the Islanders started to score goals after that. And I think it was the penalty kill that really gave them a little momentum. Carolina didn't start skating until they were down 3-0. And I can't understand this when the Rangers did this so many times this year. I lost count that they didn't start playing until they were down. They were down by 2 goals, or they didn't start playing until midway through the second period. Wait, what the fuck? Just come out and skate hard like you were when you're down 3-0. Have that little bit of urgency, and you're going to be fine. Because if Carolina skated that way from the opening faceoff, they probably wouldn't have been in this position that they are now. Not taking anything away from the Islanders, because they played well to get the lead and keep the lead and build on it. But I don't know. I don't like the way Carolina's playing this game. I didn't see game 1, so I can't comment on it. I could just see I could just say what I see now, and like the Maple Leafs, and we'll talk a lot about them later. I don't like the way they're playing. I just don't. I mean, Maple Leafs in the playoffs, they don't like the way they're playing. I mean, that's no shit, right? But anybody else want to chime in?
Maple Leafs suck.
Just so you know, the Devils are still out of the playoffs. Just so you know.
Well, we have an entire third period. So if Nick starts to scream, cry, cheer, you will know that something exciting has happened. When is game 3? When do they start? When they go back to Long Island? Is it Thursday or is it Wednesday?
Thursday. Yeah, they have a day off, so extra day. Yeah.
Yeah. The Rangers get that too. I don't like that extra day.
So the extra day, but then when they get back to the 5, 6, 7, there's no days. You don't get an extra day for 5, 6, 7. So
when you'd really want it, yeah, late in the series.
Right. You figured that'd be the time, but they're just like, no, that's when we speed up the series.
By the way,
make it really hard.
Last possible date for the Stanley Cup final is like the last week of June, very close to your birthday, Steve. If by chance the Rangers go to a game 7 in the Cup finals, I will miss it.
Why? Where are you going to be?
I will be on a cruise somewhere in the middle of the ocean.
They still get TV, don't they?
They do, but who knows if it's going to be on? It's a fucking Disney cruise. Who the hell knows?
Yeah,
it's Disney cruise. It's ESPN. It's ABC. It's all the same.
Wi-Fi.
No? You would think, yeah, but you know how expensive Wi-Fi is on a cruise ship? It's very expensive.
No,
but
you're not
listen,
watching your team in the
Wi-Fi.
final.
Wi-Fi's free.
Listen,
whatever.
Listen, the whole point of going on this cruise is not to get Wi-Fi for the kids. And I told them we're not getting Wi-Fi. If I turn around and purchase Wi-Fi to watch the Ranger game, you know what a fucking hypocrite I'm going to be?
Yeah, and you're the father. Who gives a fucking shit?
You tell them, listen, there is an exception to this.
Boy,
how many more times are the Rangers in your lifetime ever possibly going to be in the playoffs? In the playoffs. In the
fuck you. Hopefully a lot.
You tell Ryan, look,
piece of shit.
Ass.
If it was WrestleMania, we'd get Wi-Fi for you.
Yeah, I think I got to rationalize it like that. Tyler's not going to understand it.
You tell Tyler if it was a live episode of fucking Family Guy,
you'd
get Wi-Fi for him.
New Bluey episode.
Hey, Bluey. Anyway, well, that'll turn to your first place President's Trophy winning New York Rangers.
Not first place. We're in the playoffs. There ain't no first place
me.
anymore.
We're sorry, the number 1 seed.
Yeah, you
New
can't
York
say
Rangers.
first place.
President's Trophy winning New York Rangers. That's better.
Regular season doesn't matter. You can say number 1 seed.
No problem. Does that make you feel better?
Yeah.
It does, really?
Yeah.
It makes you feel better?
Yeah.
Number 1 seed, President's Trophy. That saying that is better than first place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's true. It's not.
It's damn true.
It's not regular season stuff.
Listen, like we've been talking about tonight with the Islanders and the Canes so far. The first period of the Rangers Flyers game was a real feeling out period between both teams. There was
who they play? Who they
did
play?
I say the Flyers? I meant the Capitals. Freudian slip.
God doesn't even know where the fuck his team is playing.
No, fuck the Flyers. I wanted to say fuck the Flyers in there somewhere, so I'm glad I did.
Is an extremely dull, sleep-inducing period? Is that what we call a feeling out?
That's feeling out. Yes,
right. A feeling out.
That was terrible.
Nothing could be garnered. There was a lot of penalties being called, and the refs are already in fucking rare forms. It's not just the refs, right? It's the fucking linesmen. We talked a little bit during the course of the year about there should be an explanation on why people are thrown out of the face-off circle, or why the fucking linesman didn't drop the puck when he should have dropped the fucking puck. They get off way too easy, and they have been getting off way too easy for far too long. I like my referee book. I'm going to start writing down names of linesmen that I fucking can't stand and hate. And I should have done that.
Pat, see if you could make them change the NHL rulebook.
Hey, listen, maybe
use your powers for good, Pat.
And it was a fucking very boring, dull first period. 7-4 were the shots on goal, and really nothing happening other than a couple of ugly power plays. 0 for 2, both teams on the power play in the first period. So not a lot going on until the second period. The refs put their whistles away, and that was going to be it for basically all of the obvious penalties that were, I should say, unless it was a very obvious penalty, that nothing else was going to get called that game. About 4 minutes into the second period, Matt Rempe made the Garden erupt with his first career playoff goal, and the first for the Rangers this season. Kind of a good cycle play behind the net, Vesey out in front, and Rempe was just there, and Lindgren literally had no chance. But after taking a bad penalty in the first period, getting that goal was a great way to redeem yourself, and it was really good to get that fourth line involved and get some depth scoring, from the fourth line. It's also good and appreciated to get goals from your superstars as well. And Artemi Panarin followed up less than a minute later by scoring to make it 2-0. And really, that would be all that the Rangers would need. Vesey did add another in about a three plus minute span of the second period to make it 3-0. And the Rangers never looked back. Kreider added a third period goal on a breakaway on the backhand to beat Lindgren to make it 4-1 at that point. And really, the game to me was kind of, and I can't remember the last time where I watched a Ranger playoff game and said, there is absolutely no way the Rangers are going to lose this game. I can't remember a Rangers playoff game where I've said that in past year. And I don't mean this to be, whatever, take it as you will, but maybe that the 15 playoffs where they played the Penguins in the first round, maybe games 1 or 2 of that series, maybe I felt that way, but it's been a long fucking time since I have felt that the Rangers had absolutely no chance at losing a hockey game, let alone a playoff game. And the Caps, to me, just, I don't know, for whatever reason, they didn't play well. They were missing a lot of veteran guys on the back end. Dylan McElrath was actually one of their 5 defensemen after one of them got injured on a hit by Alexis Lafreniere. But as I hope the Rangers are seeing right now and seeing tonight, what can happen if you let off the gas even a little bit for some of these teams. especially who didn't play well in the first game. Game 2 is a whole different ball game, and they have to be mentally, physically, and ready for what's to come. And I think Washington's going to come back and try to get real physical with the Rangers, real physical, and the Rangers better be prepared for that. But Rempe, listen, bad penalty. As I mentioned, the first period, great goal, played really well. Absolutely deserved to play. Looked like he belonged as well. And the Rangers' new kind of defense had looked stellar. And Fox and Lindgren are going to be your mainstays, but they mixed up the Schneider and put Schneider with Miller and put Trouba with Gustafsson probably a week and a half prior to the season ending. And when Trouba was down for a couple of weeks, they had the Schneider Miller pair, and everybody on defense played really well. So that defense looked really well, and the Rangers really didn't take any, and maybe because they didn't have to, they didn't take any unnecessary chances. They stayed back, let the game come to them, and really turned defense into offense. And when they needed him to be there, for the 20 shots on goal that didn't go in, Igor was there to make the save. We're going to get a lot of the same lineup for the Rangers in Game 2 tomorrow night. And look, it's been a long time since I've watched a playoff game where I knew that the Rangers were not going to lose that game. Everyone has just been a fucking nail biter, and I hope the remainder of this series goes that way. But if I've learned anything from watching the Rangers in my lifetime, it's that it's not going to be, and every series is going to be as well it should be, a really tough one. But Bill, I always go back to things you say for some reason. And one of the reasons, why the Rangers have such a tough time in the playoffs is they don't know how to finish teams and finish them early and give themselves a break. If you want to go deep into the playoffs, you got to finish your first round series in 5 or 6 games. If you can't go 7 games in every single playoff series, which is, typically the Rangers' MO to do things like that, to go 7 games in just about every series that they play. They got to find a way to finish this out quick. So they can get the rest that they need to go on and take on an Islander or Carolina team that they're going to need every bit of energy, speed, goals, name it. They're going to need it, and they're going to need the rest going into that series. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night for Game 2 against the Caps.
Yeah, I think you want to finish them quick because, honestly, I can't remember any time in the recent past a team so undeserving of being in the playoffs at all as the Capitals. So the Rangers ought to take advantage of that benefit, and not fuck around for more than, say, 5 games with this team. They really should not hang with the Rangers whatsoever.
Yeah, what, a minus 40 goal differential in the regular season? Did we find out if that's like a record for a playoff team to have such a negative differential in the regular season, actually making the playoffs? I think they were up there, and if there was a record, I think we would have heard of it. But
I think we covered it last week.
Did
last
we?
week was
did
it?
we say?
Yeah,
It might have been 2 weeks ago or last week. You're right. But
there was a team that was like minus 50 or 60 or something back in the day.
Yeah, but it was only one team that was worse than they are. But listen, I'm glad we got them, so I'm pretty happy about that. Other series going on around the NHL. Looks like Boston is down 3-2 to Toronto. William Nylander, there was talks that he was not hurt but being benched by the coach. You don't bench fucking William Nylander, $11 million guy in game 1 of the playoffs. I don't care fuck who you are. If you are, you don't deserve to be a coach. I'm sorry. But he missed tonight's game, so I got to think that he's injured, right? You have to think, for a guy who hasn't missed a lot of games.
Sat for it. Benching a guy for is much different than sitting him the whole game. Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there was some kind of rumors. Maybe he hurt himself doing stupid shit before the game. Yeah, well, I mean, what happened? All of a sudden, he just gets hurt, and it's not like he, like you said, he's a guy. He's a main guy. Why would all of a sudden he just get, I mean, he'd have to do something really stupid to be benched for a game. But it sounded like he might have done something. I don't know, playing some basketball or goofing around. Who knows? He
What a
hurt himself.
dumbass.
Hurt himself in a way that hurts the team more than him.
Well, he got to
It was
warm
Austin.
up.
It was
I don't know what he
Austin
did.
Matthews, by the way. Austin Matthews got the go ahead.
It was nice too.
It really was. I
nice.
just saw the replay. It was
Yeah.
sick. I'm sorry, Bill. What were you saying?
Just I don't know how he got hurt or whatever, but like if you're warming up before the game, you're is different than just fucking around. Like it's unless he was like out riding a motorcycle or on a skateboard or some shit like that.
Oh, Matthews.
Yeah, if he was doing like that pregame hacky sack kick circle thing that they do and get hurt, I mean that's unfortunate but understandable.
Yeah, not like irresponsible.
Yeah.
But if he's out today and they don't know benched. I mean, maybe he was hurt last game. I mean, maybe that and then people just said, "Oh, he was benched." I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was just what people
that's Toronto.
were
That's
about.
Toronto media fan speculation. That's what that is. That's
You're 100% right.
Yeah, true. They are fucking nuts.
Yeah. The fucking Yankees of the hockey world.
Yeah.
Panthers go up a 1-0 on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I thought that was a really, really entertaining game. I don't know if anybody else caught that game, but very, very entertaining. And that series is destined to go 7 games. And I hope they beat the shit out of each other. Was anybody else kind of surprised by the 7-6 score in Winnipeg? Maybe not that the Avalanche gave up 7 goals, but that Winnipeg gave up 6.
Yo, what the hell, man? That's
There's
nuts.
always that one game, game one that like goes crazy.
That was it.
Yeah.
It'll be a 1-0 game next game. Both teams will overreact to that.
I agree. That doesn't make sense. Hellebuck and who's the goalie in Colorado now?
Georgiev.
Georgiev. Yeah, Georgiev. That's right.
I keep thinking about the haul that we got for Georgiev. That was hilarious. Pull the wool over the eyes of Colorado. Dummies. And no surprise, Mark Stone will return to Vegas and play game 1. Anybody shocked about this?
You're
absolutely
kidding.
Shocked.
No, I would not. And they had another guy, not Carlson, but was it Carlson?
Erik Karlsson. Yeah, not Erik Karlsson. The other
no. The other guy.
William.
William
Carrier. That's the guy. So he's coming off a LTIR tonight as well, shockingly. So all of the LTIR guys healthy enough to play game 1 of the playoffs.
It's got to be.
And somebody.
Hey, Pat. Here's another thing, Pat. Get him to change this fucking rule too.
I can't remember where I heard this, but if it might have been actually on Daily Faceoff Live on Twitter this afternoon.
You giving credit?
Oh yeah, shocking. Should I have not? You're right. I should have just fucking stole it myself. You're right. That if he's healthy enough to play game 1, he was probably healthy enough to play the game last 82. 2 or 3 games of the regular season. And
at least
he was probably healthy enough to play the last 15 games.
Maybe a ruptured spleen. I'm not sure. I don't know. I've never had it.
Like Peter Forsberg had a spleen removed in the playoffs one of those years, and I think he missed like a game.
Yeah, well, no, what's his face in Bergeron? Didn't he have like multiple issues?
He had multiple spleen injuries. He had to have multiple spleens removed.
I thought his kidney fell out or something on the ice, and he still.
That's why he was such a good defensive player.
Yeah. Anyway, we were saying. I think I said a segment on this in Money Talks around Vegas, and I said that Carrier and obviously Stone. We all knew that was obviously going to happen, but that they'd all come back because Carrier was a guy. He's been on the team since expansion. He has some setback, but setbacks there. Who the hell knows what those mean? Because he just conveniently came back. exactly at the playoff time, just like Stone. But it's pretty obvious that was going to happen. Everybody knew what was happening there, and it didn't it didn't take any. I think that's like a collective. Everybody in the hockey world was like groaning, like Jesus Christ, 3 years in a row. Like, okay, you're just gonna be ready for playoffs.
Net empty in Boston right now. Minute and a half left.
That's good.
Also, there
Let them beat each
was
other up.
Vancouver and Nashville last. No one. Does anybody care about that series? I mean, besides people in Vancouver and in Nashville.
It does have a big impact. I think Vancouver's, if they don't, they should advance. They should be the favorites. But Nashville has been very good.
Nashville's been amazing.
So I mean,
the last third of the season, I agree.
It's interesting.
I'm not going to openly seek out that series and watch it for sure. No thanks. And lastly, we have who's our last game? Edmonton and the LA Kings get underway this evening too. And you know what? I got to give credit to ESPN for staggering the starts of these night games. This is fantastic. You go right from Boston intermission, go to the Islander game, and vice versa. And
that's the key. The key is that it does the intermission. You don't have to sit 100%. And listen to the talking heads.
Fucking A plus to ESPN for doing that this playoff season.
Or just put the box, while they're talking. Like, just always keep a game going, though. Like, always have it in motion.
ESPN Plus did the quad box or the triple box during the regular season where you can watch. At least on Apple TV, they did it. I'm not sure if they did it on the iPad or not.
So since the Devils are dead, I was watching the Mets on Saturday, and the Mets game was on.
Did we have Mets on the agenda?
The Mets game was on like Fox. Like the Fox cable channel, not Fox 5, but the Fox
Sports 1.
Yeah. And for some reason, they were having difficulty with the broadcast booth being unable to broadcast. So the entire first half of the first inning was no announcers. And that absolutely has to be something that the fans can access in the future. Like, there's got to be some channel somewhere on some cable system that's a game broadcast with no announcers, because it was so much more entertaining.
I have a mute button.
You go ahead, Bill. You can do it.
Go ahead. You get they had the ambiance. They had the ambiance of the stadium noise. So they had the microphones that they have in various points throughout the stadium. You could still hear that.
Well, I'm sure YouTube has background baseball noise that you can.
No, it's got to be easier than that. It's got
going all the way back to like the early days of HD television. There was a channel called HD Net, which I think was one of Mark Cuban's
I remember that.
Yeah.
But they would do exactly that for like an inning or a couple of innings in the game. They would just go, we're going to do an inning called Sounds of the Game, and it was just no announcers, just
bring it back.
Beautiful HD picture,
Mark Cuban,
which was
genius.
Then, and then you'd hear the ball hitting the bat, and you'd hear the
crowd.
They was yelling in the crowd. Yeah, it's very cool.
When did the Islanders become good on the penalty kill? And I thought Carolina was way better on the power play.
April 22nd.
Is that it?
Playoffs change things, man. I mean, you gotta play. Every game's been a playoff game for us for a while, but I mean,
no, I got that. But even still, even when you were playing your playoff games, you were still abysmal on your penalty kill.
Down 2-1, down by 2 goals, down 3-1. Maybe Carolina's gripping the stick a little bit tighter, and that just makes the Islanders look better too.
Yeah, I get that.
I think that's a good point, Steve, because if you watch the difference in PK, Carolina's PK is the best in the NHL, and they're so aggressive, and there's no room. And you're like, how is it possible that they're so good? There's one less guy on the ice, right? It doesn't make any sense. But then you put ours on, and we're like, just don't score. Just don't score.
That's a final in Boston. Toronto takes game 2, tie series.
Unreal. Right. And then they get Nylander back for game 3.
Yeah,
maybe
if he's not benched again.
You think they should have? I mean, listen, I get that they alternated goalies in Boston for the past 28 games or some bullshit like that. Pick a fucking go. I was teetering on the man. You're really getting everybody in the playoffs, and if they win, that is going to be like the ultimate like team Stanley Cup victory to have alternating goalies. But if you don't have one goalie,
if you got two goalies, you got no goalies.
If you got two
That's
goalies,
it.
you got none. Exactly.
That's
That's
right.
exactly what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So pick a fucking goaltender and stick with it, dummy.
It's not like if the Rangers go up 3-0 in the series, they're going to start quick in Game 4.
Now, we just wanted to give him a game.
Right? Yeah. You know,
They're not
just want to
fucking
make
doing
sure
that.
Make sure he earned his name on the cup. That's all.
Fucking bullshit. Listen, he didn't play at all in last year's playoffs, and he still got his name on the cup. So trust me, Jonathan Quick is going to be just fine. He's going to be fine, no problem. And lastly, what the fuck are the Buffalo Sabres thinking? What literally? What the fuck are they doing? Do they not? If anybody needed to listen to this podcast, it was Buffalo fucking Sabres. They would have heard me bitch and moan about Lindy Ruff, and then Steve for 2 years bitch and moan about him.
You know the guttural reaction that I have when a team retreads a player, gets a player back that they had at one point. Why would you do it with a fucking coach that the game has passed him by when he was there the first time the game had passed him by?
Especially when you got a team full of young kids who need somebody to fucking lead them. Lindy Ruff is not the fucking guy.
He's not.
He was the guy in the early 2000s. Now, the game, as you said, might be passing him by a little bit.
Oh, it did. Passed him by completely. Yeah. And
we all agree
again, he's terrible with young kids. He's terrible. He will bench. You make one mistake, you're going to get benched. If you're a veteran, you get a long leash. It's just the absolute worst person for this team.
Yeah, but
he was great with that
Buffalo,
one young guy in the
won't
Devils.
fuck with them.
Yeah, no one. Is there media in Buffalo?
Yeah, the media. It's not going to be the media's fault, at least. I think he could be a lot better because it won't be the media's fault.
It's the Niagara Falls Gazette, I think, is the.
Who was that? Who was that rookie? Who was that young guy that on the Devils that he loved? Holtz. He loved.
Holtz. Oh yeah, no, yeah. That's
what Holtz developed into such a great player last year. What are you talking about?
Not only that, you should see the before and after stats for Meyer. Once Meyer started getting used in the correct spot, in the correct way.
Yeah, Timo Meyer fucking just exploded at the end of the year. I mean, we gave you shit, right? Because the season was over and all that other crap.
Yeah,
but Buffalo, what the fuck are you thinking? I mean, Ted Nolan, Patrick from SpongeBob, literally anybody would have been better than having fucking Lindy Ruff as your new
Ted Nolan, Patrick from SpongeBob. Patrick, they could have gotten him. It would have been a better choice.
James Patrick. Is this trivia with Bill?
Nolan Ryan would have been better.
The former Ranger draft pick who died over with Yager, he would have been a better choice, right?
No.
Am I right? Am I right?
No.
That's no.
No.
I just thought we were. I thought we were naming.
Can
names.
we do trivia with
Bill? I thought we were naming. What trivia with Bill? We have no idea what the fuck this segment is with Bill.
No, this is the wrong Bill.
Wait, do you have a theme song for that?
I do have a segment this week. So
Ooh.
I've been trying new things, right? Yeah. So it didn't seem to go over well last week. Nobody gives a shit what Gordie Howe had to say, apparently. So I'm going to do this week something called
Shocking.
It's time for the weekly WTF with William Thomas Fougere.
Oh.
Okay. Hello, hockey fans. It's Stanley Cup time, and here's all you need to know about the 2024 playoffs. The nation of Canada, for once, is well represented in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but don't count on this season being the first time since 1993 that our neighbors to the north bring home hockey's silver chalice of joy. The last time a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup, the United States was still in the afterglow of kicking Saddam Hussein's sorry ass in the first Gulf War. The TVs looted from the Rodney King riots were out of warranty, and Nicole Brown Simpson knew exactly where her sunglasses were. Oh, Canada, it's been a while. But who would win for Canada? You have the Toronto Make-Believes, just made that one up, who have the longest current championship drought in the sport for 55 years. They lost to the Bruins in game 1 by a score of 5-1, prompting the entire organization to say, did we forget to bring goalies and defensemen again? The Lose-A-Peg Jets have never won a Stanley Cup and have the same chances as another team in another sport called the Jets, and they aren't even the real Jets. The real Jets are about to become the Salt Lake City Soakers if Pat McAfee has anything to do with it. The last time the Edmonton Oilers won a Stanley Cup was the year after Gretzky left for LA. They had the best player in the world in Connor McDavid. They have one of the top goal scorers of the generation in Leon Draisaitl. What's keeping them from winning the cup? Oh, that defense and goaltending thing again. But they added such high-quality individuals like Evander Kane and Corey Perry. How can things go wrong? And there's no truth to the rumor that Evander Kane set up a betting pool on how soon Corey Perry is going to bang McDavid's mom. Then there's the Vancouver Canucks, who seem determined to lose a Stanley Cup each decade. If Pavel Bure didn't get them over the top in the night against the 1994 shadow of the Oilers, then do you think Quinn Hughes is going to be the guy that carries them to the promised land? I mean, there's practically 2 of him playing on the Devils, and they can't even make the playoffs. So if not Canada, then who? Out west, you have the Kings, who are counting on Adrian Kempe and Cam Talbot to lead their charge. I've seen scarier stains in my underwear. Speaking of former Ranger goalies, if Colorado wins the cup with Alexander Georgiev, I would want Tony DeAngelo on the ice to punch him in the mouth on general principle. Besides, Nate McKinnon will be itching to get with his best friend Sidney Crosby at their summer job running the Tim Hortons drive-thru in Cole Harbor, Nova Scotia. The Predators can never win a cup because their players are always sexually exhausted from the loose women throwing themselves at them when they come flying in for their daily bachelorette parties. Snatchville can't succeed unless these guys play in a bubble again somehow. The Dallas Stars share the Dallas curse with the Cowboys, another useless team from Dallas associated with a star. We all know that they would not have won the cup in 1999 if the referees had made the same call for goalie interference on Brett Hull that they had made each and every game of the 1999 season until the very final moment. Ridiculous. The Golden Knights have seen yet another perfectly timed, miraculous recovery from Captain Mark Stone, but that won't be enough for them to avoid the golden shower. Last season, we all know that Bill Foley won in his 6th year like he said he would when he started the franchise. However, he didn't have a plan after 6 years, so I think they're fucked the rest of their existence. So back in the East, you have 2 Florida teams squaring off. Tampa hasn't won a cup since, unfortunately, they stopped having injured superstars suddenly return to the playoffs, a la the Golden Knights. Stupid Kucherov was so healthy this season that he scored 140 points. What a dick. The Panthers don't make me laugh. Matthew Tkachuk is their big important forward. Oh, don't get me wrong. His family name is very famous in hockey, and they have produced amazing players who never win the cup. Father and sons, 34 seasons in the NHL, 0 Stanley Cups. As a family, they have wrecked more hotel rooms than won cups. They are still banned in Japan. The Islanders haven't won since the Mattingly mustache was fashionable, unless Brian Trottier is planning a return that I wasn't aware of. I think we can count out a team that was up and down more than Chris Christie on a bungee cord. The Carolina Hurricanes haven't won a playoff game past the second round of the playoffs since they won the Stanley Cup in 2006. I can't blame them. It gets hot down there in the South in the spring, and they're a bunch of jerks anyway. The Washington Capitals are so bad that the Pittsburgh Penguins could have pulled past them and push into the playoffs on the final day if John Tortorella didn't pull his goalie shortly after the national anthem with their entire season on the line. Fuck the Flyers. The New York Rangers, LOL, won Stanley Cup since 1940, makes it pretty safe to bet the field against that team that is also contending with the President's Trophy curse. Besides, when they run into a team with a tough D pairing to shut down the Panarin line, they will be waiting for secondary scoring from Mika Zibanejad and the Warner siblings, Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. Yikes. Well, wait. Who haven't we talked about yet? The Boston Bruins. I guess by process of elimination, they will be the 2024 Stanley Cup champions, just as I predicted at the beginning of the season. And it'll be a nice send-off for Jack Edwards, who is retiring after the season because no one can fucking stand him. This has been the weekly WTF. Thank you.
It's very evident to me now.
It's
very evident, Bill. Very evident. Now we knew what you were doing all day. Literally all day.
My new favorite segment.
It's been our always favorite segment.
I love
Just
it.
Hasn't been on here yet.
Can I ask a question? Are we still going to get the email?
I do have, well, I obviously have it on the document. I could send it out.
I'm asking for a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of them. Mostly Mother Teresa. All right, Money Talks with Nick.
Money. It's tanks of gas. Grab that cash with both hands and make a stash. New puck, give a fuck, G and daydream. Think I'll buy me a hockey team.
I mean, you want to do it tonight?
It's gonna be a quick one, boys.
Okay,
I'm
go.
pretty distracted. 7 minutes to go in the third, 32 aisles.
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Sponsored by E-Trade.
E-Trade.
Whoa.
Yeah, we are now sponsored. Money Talks. They picked up the segment. E-Trade is the new sponsor of the Money Talks section with Nick. Yeah, we get that money, get that cheddar, as the kids say.
Get that money. Get that money. All right, real quick. So the NHL. As you know, in the last few days, it looked like they're gonna be making about somewhere around $6.2 billion this year in revenue. Not quite in the $10 million range where the other leagues are all kind of hit in the major four, but I think it's definitely been an uptick in with in terms of just viewership. Isles Rangers outdoor game was the most viewed regular season game in quite a bit of time. I think it said like the last 10 years. At least it's been a bit of time. But that combined with the also record attendance of 22.5 million fans in arenas across the board matches about what the NBA is doing. Now we do have 32 teams. That does help quite a bit with matching the amount of guys. But hey, people in the seats. But it's starting to look. I think the point of this whole thing is that the upward tick of the revenue, the more people coming to games, the viewership starting to go up, ad revenue obviously been going up, new teams moving a team out of a shithole position in Arizona. Not that Arizona's a shithole, but that the team was in a bad position, moving them to Utah under new ownership. I think starting to right some of those things that that the NHL has tried to get right, and it's starting to look good. I think I'm not saying that they're going to hit 10 billion in the next 2 years, but it's not out of the range of them hitting it in the next, let's say, 5. They could definitely get there, and I think it's been interesting to watch the NHL slowly change the game around. A lot of the things we talk about and bitch and moan about have really worked out in the better. Seeing Conor McGregor. Sorry, I watched Roadhouse this weekend. I'm sorry. Connor McDavid hit 140 points alongside Kucherov, or Kucherov hit 140 points. I think McDavid hit like 130 something, whatever he hit. Two guys hitting 100 assists in those two. Matthews hitting 69, almost 70 goals. I mean, clearly we see a uptick in offense, and it's been just, I think, a better product all around. So this isn't really much of a massive analysis tonight. I think it's just more of a, we're starting to see some really good numbers come out of this year's product, and I think with the eventual Super Soakers coming into the league, we're going to have a really a lot of wet panties in the NHL.
I can't wait to see how Bettman and crew spin this revenue as to not increase the cap as much as it probably should go up.
Well, this year you could see it because of the arena that Arizona had, but you're going to move the team that's went from what, a 1,200 seat arena to 19,000 and sold out every single night.
It's got to be 41 games
and new merchandise sales. They already have 11,000 season tickets in 48 hours that were sold.
Is it because people just think it's a new homeless shelter?
Yeah, I think so. I do. But that's a lot of money to spend and go into a homeless shelter.
Yeah. With that said, too, don't forget. I mean, as unlikely as it is,
I don't know.
As unlikely as it is for Arizona to actually get another team there is that clause that Morello, he can still within 5 years, if he finds funding for a stadium, can reenact the Arizona Coyotes, which lose time.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, he's frozen. Look at him. Look at that stupid look on his face. What an asshole.
What a douche. Only Ranger fans look like that.
Fucking, why is he wearing a hat?
They
He's
were
inside.
talking. They were. Am I still frozen? No. How about
There we
this
go.
frozen? I
There we
want
go.
this to be frozen. My internet connection's unstable, as it were.
There we go.
Fitting.
Well, anyway, were you saying?
I was saying something.
Arizona?
There was serious talk that, even though the Coyotes are moving to Utah, that they want hockey back in Arizona as quickly as they possibly can. If that,
right.
Whatever that means and how whatever it takes to get them back, I think you got to look at that. That's going to happen soon.
If that were to happen, like I said, contractually it could happen. That's expansion. That's a legit expansion. A brand new team, and then you have an odd number of teams again. So that can't mean they're going to stay at that odd number. There'd have to be, another team.
I honest to God still think that the NHL wants as many American cities as they possibly can, because that's where the revenue is.
40 teams is a nice round number.
36 is the number. That's the number. 6 teams per division.
You can't go any higher than that. I would agree.
That'd be it. There's no way you can go more. But then I don't know. What do you start going relegation? Have 2 different leagues? I don't know.
40 teams.
By the way,
4 10-team leagues.
Golden Knights 1-0 lead. Power play goal.
Yeah.
Mark Stone.
Of course. Yeah. No.
Shocking.
All right.
Shocking. All right. Let's go to this date in Steve's stomach.
Oh, that feels better.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Right here, we're saving calories. Round here, we all look so lean. Round here, we enjoy Coke Zero, but sacrifice flavor, no. Round here, Coke Zero's the way to go.
Please go. This one's going to bring us to year of our Lord 2011. Please go to May 19th of 2011.
May 19th of 2011 was a Thursday.
Ooh.
Breakfast was
hit me.
Apple juice.
Apple juice.
Just apple juice.
Just apple juice.
Just apple juice.
Just an apple juice.
Come on, I want back-to-back pumpernickel songs. Come on.
Lunch was a Caesar side salad from Wendy's with a 6-piece chicken nugget and a small Coca-Cola Classic.
You didn't poop yourself, did you?
Nope. Ran 2.5 miles after lunch. Dinner was a leftover steak sandwich with cheese and a can of Coca-Cola Classic. Tom, why did you pick Thursday, May 19th in the year 2011?
That was the day that a woman attempts to trade an Olive Garden salad for cocaine, as one would normally do.
Yeah.
Hoping to receive $10 worth of cocaine in exchange for an Olive Garden salad in a to-go box, a Salt Lake City woman instead was charged with third-degree felony by an undercover police officer.
All the people to offer a salad to.
Of all the people. In addition to the salad, the woman also offered the officer $2 and vowed to return later with more money or Olive Garden gift cards. The officer was not persuaded by this. I don't know how he wasn't.
He's an idiot. An idiot.
Doesn't he know that the salad bowls are endless?
Yeah.
And in addition to the felony, the woman was also charged with 1 count of attempted possession or use of a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. She apparently had a glass pipe in her pocket, which is a Class A misdemeanor. And that's what happened May 19th of 2014.
Tom's a creep. Tom is a weirdo. Where does he come up with the shit? It's so disgusting.
Tom, I don't want to upset you.
Yeah.
But if this had happened one day earlier,
God
you would
damn
have
it.
gotten it. One
God
day
damn
earlier, you would have gotten it.
Well, how about I just change the date? May 18th of 2011.
2011 is your sweet spot, just so you know.
Yeah.
Great year for Pumpernickel.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, that was the year of the pumpernickel. Apparently, Olive Garden salads in a to-go box.
Hey,
God bless. But I mean, she wanted to give the officer, told him she'd come back and give him like Olive Garden gift cards. Do you think there would have been any value on those gift cards, or did she just go to Olive Garden and ask for a stack of them?
Do you think maybe she worked at the Olive Garden, and that's where she was getting all this stuff?
And she just had access to the Olive Garden salads. But I mean, at that point, would you throw in a couple breadsticks? Don't you think those are valuable? How valuable is a breadstick in comparison to endless salad bowl at Olive Garden? I got to ask Billy.
Well, I think it's an endless bread basket as well, so they're both bottomless.
I've never eaten anything from Olive Garden, but I would think the breadsticks would be the way to go.
Tom,
really?
In New Jersey,
You never went there in high school?
By choice.
Ate breadsticks?
Yeah, but just
endlessly. Nothing else.
Really?
Just breadsticks and water.
We snub our noses at Olive Garden.
Yeah, I know.
But you're fat. You eat all sorts of food. I'm shocked that you never went to Olive Garden. Literally shocked.
Sorry.
Huh? How about that? How about that?
I'm going to try it and see how bad it is.
Oh no, it's terrible.
Terrible.
Billy, you want to play that game? Try it and see.
No.
Are you sure? It's a fun game. You might like it.
Where is there one around here? I don't even know.
The Woodbridge Center Mall.
Oh, Jesus.
That mall. 18, I'm sure. Right? In East Brunswick?
By the Brunswick Square Mall.
What are they only allowed to be built by malls?
Olive Gardens are only in really shitty malls that their best times have passed them by, is what you're saying. Okay.
Is there one in front of the Menlo Park Mall?
No.
Not anymore.
No, that was Macaroni Grill.
The Macaroni Grill that is now Shake Shack.
No shit. God bless. No shit. God bless.
And some health food store.
Oh, Jesus.
There is an empty net with just under 3 minutes to go in the Icelander game. Well, now 2:28 is left.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Who has the what time is on everybody's clock?
2:40.
Oh,
2:40.
I'm way behind. Yeah, I'm way behind.
Don't worry about me because I was watching the Knicks. That was an unfucking believable finish.
It was
they were down. Listen, they were down 4 with a minute to go. Did they win?
Yes.
Woo! Go New York! Go New York! Go!
I couldn't even explain. You just got to see what happened. I couldn't even. Explain
they put the basket. They put the ball in the basket.
They put the biscuit in the basket.
That's all the explanation that I really needed. I'm going to see it on Sports Center. I'm sure.
They're going to cover that.
Oh
my
God!
Oh, Tom.
Sorry, Nick.
You're the worst. You are the goddamn worst. You fucking despise when people do that to you.
I know. It was just a reaction. I'm sorry.
I
hated
bad.
it. I hated it so much. I despised myself for saying that. I'm sorry, Nick.
Looks like we got our first overtime challenge of the playoffs, though.
Jesus Christ. This has been not what I wanted to see.
No.
I'm going to go tune it in now so I can see it happen as it happens.
Well.
Wait. Maybe you want to wait 10 minutes, Bill. Hold on.
That guy's a hoe.
He's the wrong a hoe.
That was a good shot. Did Aho even get anything on that?
Yeah, he did. He got all of his stick on it. All of it. Yeah.
Yep.
Like he positioned his foot behind his stick too, so it didn't move. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that guy. Oh my.
No. You saying they scored again? You're the worst. You absolutely have the worst poker face ever.
Oh my
It's a
god.
fucking word. What are you talking about?
You have the
fucking kidding me?
worst poker face ever, dude.
What is going on?
First of all, you fucking
Jesus
said
Christ.
something, and then you
How
looked
could
up.
how could I not? I'm a very emotional person.
looked up
I wear
at
my
the
heart on my
ceiling.
sleeve.
That's true.
How could I
That's
not say
fucking true.
something?
You look up at the ceiling like
Tom
a little
cannot
kid who
control
just
himself.
stole a cookie
No,
out of the cookie
Thank
jar.
you, Billy. Thank you. I cannot
Tom
control
cannot control himself.
He's the
I cannot. I'm
worst.
sorry.
Especially.
I despise the Hurricanes so much. This annoyed the fuck out of me.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Okay, and weirdly, I saw that before any of you because I put my tablet on to see the third goal, and I saw the goal go in, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought it was just tied 3-3. And yeah, and then you guys, and then Tom reacted.
Like Billy can control himself. I can't. I'm sorry. But there's still over 2 minutes left in the game.
Yep.
I gotta refresh this so we can get it closer up.
Fucking jerks.
Ugh. My neighbor has a subscription to Bally's, and I asked him if I could borrow because he gets to watch. It has like the local games on, and this game's blacked out. It didn't work. Like he logged in, like it just wouldn't load. So I had like I was on my computer the whole night, just watching on my legal stream. So I'm a little behind.
Oh, that's why you're behind. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it's good, but this is not a good one. So it's like a little behind.
And how is it? His Bally login just didn't work. Is that what you're saying?
No, he logged in, but it's just not like it won't load. Like the damn thing. I don't know. Maybe we can't watch at the same time or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Probably.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, they had that with when MSG Go, right? You had to take
Yeah.
over your account back,
Right.
which I really should have asked for it back. Oh,
I know, right? Nothing happened. Don't worry. But my God.
see, Billy knew
It
I was going
didn't
to say
happen.
something. He just waited for me to say it. Get there quicker.
That far
No,
behind?
no.
See?
Ugh.
Now you understand.
I could do it because I know Nick is right around the same
Oh
time.
my God.
There it is.
Oh,
Around the
shit.
same time. What are you talking about? That was nowhere close.
Like 30 seconds behind you guys. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I was
almost a
like,
full minute.
I was like, what were you talking about? I wasn't that close. Like, oh.
Yeah, little fucking shit stain.
Oh my God. What a fucking way to end that game. Oh, yeah, get him, Palmieri. Fuck those guys. They're gonna get fucked up in New York.
Well, the Islanders got to come out and be physical in Game 3. That's for damn sure.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Listen, I thought they were going to come out and be a little bit more physical in Game 2. They just didn't.
Oh man, they got a lot. I don't know. I'm not thrilled with the way this game went. It felt like a lot of shit got. They let a lot of shit go.
Can I kick Nick while he's down just a little bit? Dobson completely played that puck wrong on the goal.
That big goal.
Just
I agree.
completely tried to go for a hit instead of just playing the puck. He tried to go for like one of those reverse hits.
Should have definitely had a different play there.
Yeah.
Well, did Pulak or the other guy? Who's number 6?
That's Pulak.
He got hurt going into the Enborns? I don't know if he ever came back or not.
He was on the bench. He was back on the bench. I didn't see him. I didn't notice he was off or on. But
I'm not sure what Nelson's really pissed about here.
Nah, that's just.
And Gensel had to get around him, and that was just emotion coming out. I don't.
Yeah.
I get it.
Oh
but
yeah, no, but
I don't think
God
it's
forbid
justified.
God forbid you take a slap shot into an empty net.
Well, that's something completely different. When there's nobody fucking between you and the empty net, and you fucking blast it, and no one's even within range of you.
So, well, no,
There's
since
a big
it's such
difference.
a judgment, did he have to shoot it so hard as he did into the empty net? Couldn't he have just slid the puck into the empty net?
I hear you. It's playoffs. You just came back. I don't know. That's a tough one.
You do whatever the fuck
It's
you
a
want to
tough
do.
call.
That's the secret. That's the truth. Is you just do whatever the fuck you want to do. And if you don't like it, you should have stopped me.
What it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to wait for Long
It is
Island
what
to
it
get
is.
physical.
No, they're certainly not.
Oh, they put the fourth line out there.
And that's going to do it for tonight.
Yeah, this is real riveting stuff for all of our listeners. So we're going to end it there. Go to our Twitter or Twix at friends_rivals. Give us a follow on there. Go on Apple Podcasts and all that other stuff. You know where to find us.
Pat. Just call it Twix and we'll know. Just call it Twix.
Call it Twix.
Instead of Twitter or X, call it Twix and we'll know.
Or just or just say rivals after you say what you stole. That's fine. We're okay with everything. Just give us credit. That's it. Billy, say something witty.
Oh, yeah. Is that a glass pipe in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? I would have worked better if we didn't have 25 minutes between the story and yeah. Okay.
Oh, my friends and rivals. Flyers fuck off.